Welcome back to another news video. This week we're covering the launch of Monster Hunter Wilds, Warner Bros. Games' financial woes and studio closures, Hades 2's amazing Warsong update. All of this followed by the bonus round of smaller news stories. All news articles sourced for this video will be linked down in the description below. Like, sub, do all the YouTube stuff. Let's get into it. Monster Hunter Wilds is a hit, reaching a massive 1 million peak concurrent players on Steam. We can only imagine how high it is on the console side of things, and it's only expected to grow from here. That's a huge launch, showing the huge amounts of excitement around this title. However, despite the impressive player numbers, performance issues are putting a damper on the record-breaking Concurrents. On console, the game makes some major compromises to achieve a mostly playable frame rate. It's a different story on the PC side of things. Reports are surfacing of awful performance and visuals, contributing to the mixed early ratings on Steam. Metacritic scores looking pretty solid, indicating overall positive critic reviews. User reviews are currently to be determined as of the recording of this video. Steam user reviews are more varied, which is causing some discussion. One of the main points of discussion seems to be the game's difficulty. Some reviewers are saying it's too easy, which has longtime Monster Hunter fans a little concerned. But other people are saying it's not that bad, and that it just takes time to get a good feel for the game. I've been seeing overall mixed opinions on this matter, as some are saying the game feels more complicated with its Hunter toolkit as well. In regards to the performance issues on PC, Capcom has released a PC troubleshooting guide, which suggests they're aware of some technical issues players are encountering. If you need some help, I'll have a link in the description below. On the bright side, it seems that Capcom is actively addressing players' concerns. What can I say? It's that typical launch period, you know? Bit of a bumpy ride. I talk about this in a prior video called Don't Buy Games at Launch, which I'll link here if you're interested. Give it a watch after you're done with this video. But yeah, hopefully Capcom's able to smooth things out moving forward. Let's touch on the bad news this week. Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment is restructuring and shutting down a few studios. It's to no surprise, as we've reported on their massive losses in the past. A $200 million loss on the failed Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, as well as another $100 million loss with the shutdown of Multiverses. Monolith, Player First Games, and WB San Diego are all being shut down as part of WB's restructuring effort. It's always unfortunate to hear about studio closures, especially when there's talent involved. Monolith, in particular, is a studio with a rich history of great games. They're the studio behind the Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, and Shadow of War games, which were both pretty well received. We also can't forget the Fear series, amazing first-person shooter horror games for their time. They've been around for a while, and it's a little surprising to see them included in this kind of restructuring. On top of that, the Wonder Woman game that was in development has been cancelled. And while the game has been in development hell, many were looking forward to seeing how the game would shape up. It just goes to show, in the games industry, things are volatile and can change pretty quickly. Hopefully, the people affected by these shutdowns land on their feet, and we'll see them working on something cool again soon. On to some good news. Hades 2 just received its second major update called Warsong on Steam, and fans of the game are still feeling very positive with its early access performance. Supergiant, the developers behind the Hades franchise, really know how to develop a game under the early access model. Let's recap a little. Back in October of 2024, the team released their first major update, adding the game's first new region, Mount Olympus, with its own enemy types and boss fight. We also can't forget that new music was also added to the soundtrack, which really gets you amped up while playing. A sixth weapon was also added, something to spice up the already large arsenal of weapons to take with you on each run. A pretty substantial update. As of last week, Hades 2's second major update came out. I'm a week late, I'm sorry, but this is great news and I wanted to share it. With the Warsong update, Hades 2 now packs these latest additions and improvements. We get to meet Ares, the god of war. He provides his own set of powerful boons to aid you in your runs. The Altar of Ashes has received an update, featuring all new art and several reworked Arcana effects. Other menu screens have also been improved, a nice polish pass. You also get the chance to bond with an animal familiar. There are 5 familiars that you can collect, and it sounds like they will help protect you during your run attempts. You can now participate in a song duet at the Crossroads, another way to get immersed in the story and world of Hades 2. This is one of my favorite things about Hades and Hades 2. It's looking for new details and interactions to get more narrative and lore. The story has also received more than 2,000 new voice lines and new events with most of the game's cast, as well as a large addition of new music tracks, new and improved boons, and many more polish updates. Something worth mentioning is we are presented with this question. Are you prepared for the final confrontation on the surface? Discover what lies beyond the Guardian of Olympus, if you dare. The trailer teases something huge. I'm currently stuck in the Oceanus region. I get to the boss and she just destroys me. I gotta get better. I gotta get good. If you're into Hades or just roguelikes in general, this is definitely something to keep an eye on. It's shaping up to be another great game, and I can't wait to see what its 1.0 release will look like. That's it for the big news stories. Let's move on to the bonus round, where we go over some quick news segments that I found interesting and wanted to share with you all. Also, are you enjoying this video? Consider supporting me and my content by liking this video and subscribing to Grit Gaming. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you. Avowed has released, and it seems like it's doing decently well. Metacritic has Avowed currently sitting at an 81, with a user score of 7.1. These are good numbers in my opinion. Not every game has to be a 9 or a 10. Obsidian Entertainment's game director, Carrie Patel, has been pretty positive about the sales numbers so far, which is a good sign for a new IP. The director mentioned they'd be interested in exploring more of the world they've built. She states that the team has built this beautiful world, and have also built up their team's strengths and developing muscles around the content and gameplay. Sounds like there's a chance we'll get more content, whether that's DLC expansions or even a sequel. We'll just have to wait and see. As a side note, Obsidian reps recently commented at a developers conference stating they won't chase huge profits or grow aggressively. They are focused on budgeting games to be a mild success, wanting to sustainably develop games, and it sounds like it's working out for them for now. It's nice when a game does well, and the developers are eager to continue building on it. Are you enjoying Avowed? Let me know in the comments below. So, some sad news for Dauntless fans. The game is shutting down on May 29th. It's been a bit of a roller coaster for the developer Phoenix Labs. Basically, it sounds like things went south after a blockchain company buyout. There was a pretty rough update, followed by some brutal layoffs, and now, here we are. It's never easy to see a game go, especially when there's a dedicated community. If you were a Dauntless player, you've got a few months left to enjoy before the servers go offline. I did play this a bit at launch, and it's sad to see it go this way. So, this one is a little personal for me. I'm just short of 300 hours played in the first Descendant. I quite enjoyed the type of grind and progression it offers. It takes me back to playing a ton of Warframe back in the day. The action feels good. The Descendant's abilities that I have unlocked feel fun and powerful. I love the movement mechanics and the grappling. But I'm definitely getting tired of repeating the same events that are currently in the game. At launch, the game reached an all-time peak of 264,000 players. Now it is currently averaging just under 10,000 players. Steam database shows a slow decline since its release, which is not a good look for a live service game. It also doesn't help that the game is using bikini skins to boost revenue, which is only a temporary band-aid in my opinion. Yeah, sex sells, and if that's your thing, cool. But the developers need to focus on new content and balance updates, which they have actually addressed in some recent Q&A events. The mid-season 2.5 update is coming March 13th, introducing a new region and a new Descendant, as well as a new story arc. I'm sure this will bring back a good bump to the player base, but here's hoping that the developers are able to provide meaningful content updates and balance fixes to the first Descendant moving forward. For our final story, CD Projekt Red is aiming high for the Cyberpunk 2077 sequel. They're reportedly targeting the most realistic crowds ever seen in a game. A job listing had a small blurb that mentions successful applicants will be expected to work in close collaboration with the systems design team to create the most realistic and reactive crowd system in any game to date. That's a pretty ambitious goal, considering how dense and detailed Night City already was. If they can pull it off, it would be impressive and add a whole new level of immersion to the game. Just like 2077, I'm sure they plan on making huge technological innovations with its sequel. It'll be interesting to see how they tackle that challenge. And that's a wrap for this week's news video. Any thoughts you'd like to share or discuss, make sure to leave a comment down below. Remember to like this video, share it with friends, and subscribe for more great gaming content. Also, consider watching this recommended video right here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.